Hey everyone, and welcome to a impromptu roundtable that we just did for the hell of it. Hopefully Jenny Morgan will join us later because we kind of wanted to do this to cheer her up because she looked like she needed some cheering up. So Jenny, if you're in the chat, if you're awake at all, hop in and say hi to us because we love you.
Harmonica, man, you're free to come on in and join us.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I sent links out. If you haven't got one, we will Will or I will shoot you one in the Twitters, so that's all good. Just say if you didn't get one, but I'm pretty sure you're in our group, so it's in the group. It's in two of the groups actually, the links. So if people want to hop in, feel free. I know there's not many people actually watching at the moment, but there's a few of you. So if you're in there, if you're in one of the groups where I shut the links for the StreamYard, hop in and come and say hi to us and talk about whatever you want to talk about. If we know you, you're being brought in. Of course, if you're one of those groups, we know, yes. So, of course, with me is my lovely boyfriend Will, who puts up with all my shit all the time, and I don't know why. But
let's not even pretend
Let's
it's
not
the
go
other
there,
way
okay.
around. No, it's the other way around. You put up with my shit. I just smile a lot on camera like this. That's all. You put up with mine. So, hello.
I think it goes both ways an awful lot.
Isn't that what a relationship's about? Is that we put up with each other's shit?
Yeah, we put up with each other's shit. Yeah. And they get the plumber in to clean up afterwards. Hi, Purple. Lovely to have you here, Perps.
How's it going?
Yeah, I'm here.
We got Atheist Mo in the chat. How's it going, Atheist Mo? I subscribed back to you on YouTube.
And if you want to link Atheist Mode, just hit Will or I up on Twitter and we will shoot you a link.
I was watching your video on on Lot's situation in the Bible. It's always a graphic description when an atheist gets their hands on that one.
We have Randy, the harmonica man.
Atheist Bible studies are always interesting.
Right. I will not add people, babe. I'll let you do that.
Okay. How's it going?
Hello, Randy.
Hi, Randy.
Hey, everybody.
Oh, we got Doc Fearsome in the side.
We got Doc. Hi, Doc.
Hey, Doc. How's it going?
Doc, you're in those? I think I'll send the link into Perp's group as well for anybody who's not in the other two groups. You already did, Perps.
Group.
You did?
Come on in.
Okay.
Come on in, Doc.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, come in, Doc, if you want to. This is more like a Perps Midnight stream where we just talk all the crap that we want to talk about because there are people in the community who are awake and there's no one streaming and people want some friendly faces and I'm awake because it's the middle of the day.
And I found this harmonica man. It's all
harmonicas.
I'm a picker. I found this in my dad's stuff and I was like, ooh, I gotta show it. Yeah.
Damn.
So my dad swore he could play the blues, but he was just a tone deaf black man from Georgia. So he could keep a tune. But
what does that even mean?
he would buy
My
harmonica.
dad said he could play the blues, but he was just a tone deaf black man from Georgia.
So he could keep a tune and everyone believed him. He sold it, dude. He played in front of
Excuse me.
One night he played in front of 50 people and they all clapped and I'm like, wow, I'm glad they don't know any old blues songs. But I found that
a lot of that stuff is like karaoke clap. where
Oh,
like
yeah.
golfers clap, yay.
Yeah, exactly. But I was all excited when I found that because I have 2 over here, but those are all keyed in. It's A, G. It's all in different, keyed in different sounds. So I'm excited.
Oh yeah, probably all major diatonic in the set of 5 or 7,
Oh yeah,
whatever you got there.
I think it's 5.
I just had ordered a one from Tom Helchek, Blue Moon harmonicas, and I told him, I said, hey, just whatever the hell you think, you didn't get the color that I actually ordered. The guy emailed me back. I said, you know what? I got the black covers and everything. Just surprise me. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna put your name on it too. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna get some specialized harmonica combs and everything. I'll show you guys when I get them. It's gonna have my name on it and everything. But I'm getting
engraved.
there to where manufacturers even know who the hell I am.
That's awesome.
Well, that's cool. You might get to
I'm sorry, Jan, what'd you say?
on your channel that way.
I said, are you going to have them engraved? You said special harmonicas.
Yeah, this is what this is. They engrave the combs and their special combs and everything with inset laid reeds, so they have
Awesome.
better air coverage.
Oh, wow. Cool.
In seal, So they're specially designed, and then then he puts your name on the back of them or whatever if you request it. And I didn't even really request it. He's just doing it for me for free. He's like, yeah, the pros that's been out there for like 100 years or whatever, they've mentioned you. So, I'm gonna put your name on it. And
Hey, Ring, how's it
rolling.
going? If you wanna join us, Ring, you could feel free. You're in the group. He's in the group.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ring's in the group.
Oh, I apologize. They are in the group.
I can send it to Ring's group too, though. I can when I find Ring's group.
During World War II, the Steinway Piano Company started airdropping pianos to units on the front lines. And a harmonica
Really?
company said that was bullshit and just started including harmonicas in all the Red Cross packages.
Oh, that's awesome.
mm-hmm.
There it is.
Oh, man. So, on Friday, I walked into our local Staples, and I'm not kidding you. I walked up to the kid, and I said, I want the most stereotypical YouTuber chair you have. And they sold me this.
Oh, wow.
And it took the kid was shocked because I walked in, I knew what I wanted, and I was out within 10 minutes.
That's organization for you.
I wasn't playing around. I needed a new chair. I was there for a reason,
This month marks that I've been in this apartment for 1 month. And the only piece of new furniture I bought was a desk chair.
It's really funny you would say that. I think this is the first piece of like new furniture that I've bought in a long time that didn't come from a thrift store. Or that blue chair right there. I found that in front of someone's house in a better neighborhood.
Oh, I've done that before. I've got
that's nice.
I've got a computer desk in the other room that's all glass that somebody just dumped on their side on the sidewalk because it was missing a single screw. I'm like, what a waste! It's a really good desk.
Well, that's what I had at my old apartment. That the desk chair I got was just when the local clinic was remodeling, so they had put a bunch of chairs out by the dumpster.
It's funny. That's how I got this nightstand right here and this bookshelf. They were both by a dumpster, and I'm like, oh, they're mine. They were clean.
If this stream goes down, I'm just giving people a warning. My light's just dimmed, so I hope I'm not going to have fucking brownouts. Because the stream goes down if my net goes down because we're using OBS. So,
do you? Are there any like?
I thought I was gonna have one of those the other day because I had too much olive oil in my diet.
And the pair of matching recliners I have, I also got because the furniture store had, like, you know, taken a minute when somebody got new ones that they offered to haul the old ones away.
Mm-hmm.
So I got the old ones because it saved the store the cost of hauling them to the dump.
Heck yeah. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
They're a bit faded and rubbed, but there's no tears. They're intact.
You know, now that I think about it, like, I have furniture that's older than my son that I've carried from house to house, no matter where I've lived.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
The chair was actually a big thing for me because I still can't believe I paid $100 for one chair, but
I think that's why I'm kind of I'm still talking about the chair, because first I've seen several YouTubers have this particular chair, and the kid told me, they were like, hey, we have other colors. I said no, I want the YouTube red. I want the YouTube red one.
Yep.
Like, no way, give me
Red
that.
and black.
Hi,
I want
Jan.
that.
Hello.
Hey, how's it
Jenny.
going?
Hey, Jen, long time no see.
Okay, so hold on, Jenny, how you doing? Before we start, I don't want a robot body, but that would be cool too. Just saying. I'm big on the recall.
I mean, you know, I'm not going to talk. I feel like I've said all I needed to about robots. There's just so many benefits to it. Everything would be so much more efficient. But I understand.
Technically, you'd be an android or a cyborg, wouldn't you? Not a robot.
No.
So
If you replace every single part of yourself, one by one with cybernetics, including your brain at the end, the ship of Theseus. Therefore, you are the same person.
Have you seen
Okay.
Oh, go ahead, Bert.
could I have a robot body that's completely independent from me, that I've just got like a helmet I can put on to control it remotely and send it out to do things
Well,
when
yeah,
I don't want to
now,
go
now,
out?
now that I'd be in on, because Will could have a body here and I could have a body in the US, and we could both just visit each other over the virtual reality, which would be fucking awesome.
There are two ways that transhumanism is like, you know, there's like replace every single part of yourself so that you transition into a robot, or download your brain into an algorithm and then or upload your brain, like your brain patterns, to an algorithm, and then you have an exact copy of you that's a robot.
Do you know, ever
So-
since you said that, there's this really
Okay, I got a couple questions. Okay, first,
This topic's going to continue.
how the hell
I
are you
knew
gonna?
it. I
You're,
knew it.
you're gonna masturbate with a can of turtle wax,
No.
or are you just gonna click your brains out?
No, there's all kinds of good lube. There's all
I
kinds of good
think
metal
all you
lube.
need is
No.
a way to scan all the brain patterns and directly translate them either into a virtual world or into controlling a skin that you
These
can
are
control
so many
somewhere else.
movies. There are
So that'd be
so many movies that I have seen that are exactly what Jenny's trying to describe.
Yeah.
I'm going
Jen's
full
to create
synthetic
Matrix there.
10W30, just so you know.
I would love to be a skin job. What'd you say, Perp?
Jen's going to create the Matrix there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm
Sword
gonna
Art
become,
Online is more my idea, actually, than The Matrix. If anyone's
I'm
watched that
gonna-
anime.
I'm gonna become the architect of everyone
How do you
suffering.
flirt with
while
somebody like that? I mean, it's like, hey, baby, what's going on? And then the other person looks over there and says, you don't have the ones and zeros. That's right.
It's like that. It's like that Robin Williams movie, that one robot movie. You take her out. You take her out for motor oil. You
But
think,
I mean,
yeah,
imagine
you
how
know.
much easier. We already
Yeah.
meet up virtually online, and like for Will and I, we have dates online. Although we haven't had a proper date online for a while, so which is partly my fault because
True.
I have been too sleepy.
Every significant relationship I've been in since 1994 has started online.
Yeah, but it'd be
There you go.
nice if we could both put like a helmet on that reads our brainwaves and meet up in a virtual environment and actually have something that feels like
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
physical
it'd be
you're
nice
together
if you could
date
have some
without.
tactile sensation there.
See, but now I'm
Yeah.
jealous of a robot that doesn't exist.
But that's not a
that would
robot.
be
That's a
another-
virtual existence.
Yeah, you might have
You know-
better things going on.
Yeah,
than
an
you do.
extent- an
On the
extender.
plus side, you could have variety. because like each of you could have, a couple of different robots, different body types, so you're not always stuck with, playing with the same body all the time.
Well, here's why I think
be
becoming
great for furries because you could be a different species as well.
So here's the thing about robots, right? Modular body parts. There would be no need for dysphoria because you can just change your parts to whatever you want.
See, but if I'm a skin job, if I'm like a Battlestar Galactica skin job, I'm stuck in my body, and I kind of want to be a skin job. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, but if you were
they could at least interact in a virtual world as well.
I've never seen the newer Battlestar Galactica, so I need a bit more explanation of what the skin job is. By context, I get the basic idea.
They're Cylons who look like us, to quote the show.
Okay, is that really all there is to it? They're just Cylons.
They're fucking hot.
Yes, they look like us, and they infiltrate the fleet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go have a cigarette, so I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
How are you doing, Ring?
Doing pretty good. Just woke up recently.
Now, Ring, as somebody else who has to have a long distance relationship, wouldn't you like to be able to meet up in a virtual world with Noodle?
Well, yeah, but I'll do one better and do some like altered carbon kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, you actually have skins that you could hop into and everything.
Yeah.
But in a virtual world where you couldn't tell the difference between it being real and not, you could meet up in that world. You could have any body you wanted, which is brilliant if you're non-binary, because you could be whatever you wanted, and you guys could do whatever.
In Doctor Who, the Almost People, they're like in a pod, and they have carbon versions of themselves walking around that they control.
Mm.
So again, we're back to being jealous of a skin job, because eventually I would be like,
I like the face of Moog.
That robot is doing the job.
Yeah, but you don't have to take the risk of disease. You could be as promiscuous as you damn well liked. You could be into almost anything as long as it was with the skins that you were doing it and not with your real bodies, so nobody's getting hurt. I mean, the weird shit people would come up with for entertainment where they were running around, instead of doing paintball, they're actually running around having war games and people are actually being shot. I can imagine that would actually be a thing if you could rent skins.
Yeah, but given how screwed up people are, there is one major problem with everyone being robots.
Yeah.
Sexually transmitted computer viruses.
Yeah. Oh, that's bound to happen. Would it technically be possible to make a virus that infected both the machine and the brain controlling it?
Of course.
So you could fuck a person's actual brain up along the lines of Ghost in the Shell.
See, but that has another question. As humans, do viruses follow us?
Well, see, that's what I thought would be one of the advantages of just having a helmet that I could control the body remotely. Is like now it could go out and do the shopping, and I've got no concern about COVID.
It'd be cool.
And then when it came back, you just take the helmet off. Go get the groceries off the robot once it's in the storage pod. You're all
Of course, by the time your skin job comes back from doing the shopping, Purple, you've brought it back into your house along with all the viruses it managed to pick up.
Well, yeah, you got to decontaminate it when it comes in, but
yeah.
But the point is, you don't have other people coughing on you.
No.
True.
And you wouldn't necessarily need a skin job for that. You could just have an android that looks kind of human-like in iRobot, but it doesn't have to look entirely human to go and do that. Because it's only shopping.
Was iRobot was in 2019 supposed to be the year? We're past iRobot.
We're a bit past it.
So this year is what, Mad Max? Makes sense.
Although, I must admit, the robots that Boston Dynamics makes are actually kind of cool. I wouldn't mind remotely controlling one of them. That would be awesome fun. If you had a proper VR
haven't
setup
seen
that
that
you
one.
could properly control that,
Okay.
that would be cool. That would be absolutely cool.
Does anyone know who this Brandon Morrill is?
Yeah.
In the side chat, having a question there.
Yeah, I'm answering it in the chat because it seems like it's in
I'm
good
not
faith.
getting the side chat.
Yeah, no, Brandon's fine. He's he's in good faith. I know Brandon. So
Okay.
All right. Good.
So this is somebody actually trying to understand and not just trolling.
Okay, good. Because I come with the
If you-
hammer.
Brandon, I know you can hop in streams. If you want to hop in, send me a message on Twitter because it'll take me forever to look for your thing. You can hop in and Jen Ring and I can answer that for you if you like, in a position where you can ask the question back because yep, you've asked the question and you want some answers, so you can certainly give them.
Well, I don't know much as far as the genes or chromosomes, but as far as sexual attraction, and that is definitely not binary.
I'm
But-
indiscriminate with my orbital strikes from the chat. So
Yeah.
you gotta warn me. Because I kick
Yeah, no,
everybody out.
don't keep Brandon. Brandon's cool.
Yeah.
Brandon is not transphobic. Brandon is asking genuine questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
But
Well, and that's fine. You know, I appreciate engaging those kind of people.
and you
Yeah.
know, of course, there's the difference between sex and gender, but still both are bimodal.
Right.
yes, which is something that's easier to explain if Brandon can ask the questions rather than having to type them. So,
Yeah.
and as I know Brandon's a genuine person, then that's fine.
So on the whole, mind, human mind in a robot. How do we know if that could break someone's sanity because our consciousness, our experience of being us, evolved with our biological bodies.
Absolutely. There's a movie I'm racking my
This
brain
is something that I've been debating people for a long time now, for the past couple of weeks about, and Will's seen this too, about what is the norm on my channel, Shedding Mysticism, about the difference between the left and right brain. And I've been asked a lot of questions about this, and this is just, I don't know what it is. It's kind of like the trend now about robot bodies and things like that, and how we could, travel to Mars and travel the solar system or whatever, and then go out there and explore, and it wouldn't hurt us physically and everything. But, the main thing is, if you lose your physical senses and everything, that's what your brain is wired to go off of. And if you lose your environment and the sensations that you have, you lose your humanity, and you're not going to experience these things out and about like you should in order to gather the data, even to see if humanity could be there. You're just going to be a dull little puke.
Yep.
So I have kind of a novice kind of question. Would it be like a traumatic brain injury?
Well, and that's one of the things I was about to ask about, was that if we had like these remote control skins, wouldn't in a way they be, kind of disposable, because even if they get destroyed, it doesn't really hurt you if you're not physically there?
Almost people.
Yeah, and well, just what kind of shit would that have people doing if they basically know they're invulnerable?
Mine would be in Mexico, in this place in TJ I know, playing Russian roulette right now.
Well, here's the thing, if you're talking a remote control apparatus, in order to adequately, do things like even like pick up items, you'd have to have some tactile sensation, which means
It's true.
would the interface translate pain?
Well, like you say, just to, pick up things and deal with the real world, you would have to have some kind of neurofeedback there.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about robots still.
That's what I thought.
Well, we have not got off the topic yet.
Yeah. If you had a robot body that you could control remotely while sitting at home,
I don't want to control my robot body. I want my robot body to be a fully functioning me. Why would I need to control it if it's just me?
It's just a bit of a different concept for it. That's all.
Okay, here's my thing.
No, we were just thinking.
It kind of goes to morality. Well, I don't know. If there were robots walking around, would you be respectful towards your robot? Would you treat it like a human?
It depends on how advanced this AI is. If it's near human-like, then yes.
But it's not a human.
Yeah, but I think that life is poorly defined by our own terms because soon we're going to have AI that mimics life. And so what do we do now with all of these seemingly sentient, not living things, you know?
I'm weird. I believe in
No, we're talking about a remote thing. It's not even really a conscious entity. Just like steering a ship or a drone
that's why
or something like that.
That's why I clarified.
This is what we're talking about, a robot sending it out. You know, we are still sitting at home doing all the conscious thinking, and the machine is just out there, you know, doing whatever, changing our tires or whatever the hell it's doing, shoveling the driveway off the snow before we come out of the house, shit like that.
That's why I answered my question. That's why I answered my question the way that I did, because Will said, "What if there were robots walking around?" It depends on the type of robot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it were just being remote controlled and didn't have any thought process of its own, I think people would probably regard it pretty much the way they do their cars.
Yeah.
You guys ever watch Robot Chicken, where you got the robot on there screwing a mailbox?
Yep.
Yes, I've seen that.
That was funny as fuck.
I still say,
pow.
I say thank you to Google Plus and Siri and Alexa. Thank you.
Of course.
I say thank you to my car when it gets me home safely.
Yeah. So basically, you're trying to ensure that you're the last one killed by Terminators.
Yeah, exactly. I want to at least make it to the bunker, you know. but that's what I'm trying to say.
Speaking of,
I'm weirdly polite to my robots. I'm weirdly polite to the AI, you know.
Watch this. Hey Google, does your pussy hurt?
Here are some details.
And that's another thing. My son was saying a bunch of indecent stuff to Alexa, and I was like, "Do not speak to Alexa like that."
Yeah.
It's weird.
Alexa
before
isn't.
this, give me a big old full explanation of vaginal pain, and I was like, what?
Now, see, I don't use any voice-activated devices, and I'm still not really comfortable with things actually talking to me. Does anyone else remember the talking Coca-Cola vending machines?
No.
Yeah, they were just
No.
weird. Somebody thought, there was a while there that somebody thought just because you could have a robotic voice synthesizer and things, they were going to put it in virtually everything. And they did realize that was a bad idea. That was actually putting customers off on a lot of things.
They tried it here.
Knowing how Apple, screwed over the voice actress who, voiced Siri, I don't want to use Siri.
I hadn't heard about that.
It's really sad. You just made me kind of sad, Ring.
Yeah.
I talk to all my AIs all the time.
Yeah, basically, the woman who voiced Siri can never get a job voice acting again because they trademarked her voice.
Oh, that's awful.
Oh, damn.
Is that legal?
Yeah.
How is that legal?
Bazooka and trademark the hole in the building. That's what I'd be doing.
I don't see how they could do that.
No, I've wondered about that because in Portland, Oregon, their trains talk, and I've been other places that have the exact same voice. So I've always wondered about that.
Oh,
Okay.
Hmm.
Are those people's voices do they own the rights to their own voice? Apparently not.
Back before the internet, there was a woman who had made her entire career was recording all of the voice messages for the phone company. You know, including when you called for the time and date.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Oh, Doc, did you have
apparently she
to?
had retired early and rather well because she had managed to win a court suit that she was entitled to royalties every time somebody called that time and date number.
Oh, wow.
Just for the record, Doc has just said in the chat,
Yeah,
imagine
I
a
saw.
toilet seat that says num 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 when you flush.
Thanks, Doc. Thanks.
Thanks, Doc. Thanks for that image.
But
Yeah.
Whoops.
What if you got your remote control scanned and you send it out to do the shopping and it comes home covered in graffiti?
That would be awful.
or
I just
actually, there is a, you know, on how we would treat robots. There was a couple of experiments that kind of shed light on the information or on the situation. Like, do you know? Have you guys heard about Hitchpot?
Okay, I have.
Yeah.
I have.
So this Canadian university made this robot. You know, that was basically like an iPad on like a dummy, essentially. And they had it hitchhike across Canada. It made its way all the way across Canada. Then they tried it in the U.S. It made it from Boston to Philly, and then someone in Philly, you know, destroyed it and stole the iPad.
Oh, brilliant!
So true.
Yeah.
Such a sad statement on America. Such
Yeah.
a sad statement. I'm still disappointed every time
I would
hear
have
that.
to point out that it probably wouldn't make it across Australia either.
Here in California, people would just be taking selfies with it.
If they started in Melbourne, it
On
wouldn't make
Australia,
it out
the
of
heat
Geelong.
alone killed it.
How's it going, Brandon?
Hi, Brandon.
Hey, check what's going on.
All right, so you
Yeah,
had a question, Brandon, about being male and female and differences in gender identity, differences in gender and sex.
Sex is, from what I understand, sex biology in general is how you express that biology.
Okay.
That's how I understand it. I don't know. I'm not hateful or anything.
No. I know you're not being hateful. Okay, so sex is actually a lot more complicated than just saying sex is binary, because it depends what you're talking about when you're talking about sex. If you're talking about the potential for biological reproduction, which is gametal sex, so based off the gametes, then yes, that is the only form of sex differentiation that is binary. There are gametes that are in between, but they cannot reproduce, so therefore there is only the two expressions. However, describing sex in humans or any other higher species as just being gametal is only useful when talking about populations and not individuals. So this is why a lot of anti-trans people will go, oh no, sex is always about gametes. You know, which one has the larger gametes, which is just bullshit, because there's more. I mean, when a doctor lifts up the child after it's been born and takes a look at it, it's not looking at its gametes. Sex, as described legally on a birth certificate, is based purely off phenotype, which is the expression of the genitals. So, what do your external genitals look like? And that can be either penis, vagina, or both. That you can actually be born with both.
Yep.
Or a weird sort of mix, because intersex conditions exist and they're not that rare. It's like 1 in 1,000 are intersex. Not that type of intersex, but there are so many different types of intersex and conditions that they can express. Like they express about 1 in 1,000 people. For a lot of people being intersex, they'll never ever know throughout their entire life that they're intersex. So sex itself, which is you're going to have to look at all the different types of sex descriptors like phenotype, genotype, which is your genes like XXXY, XXY, YYX, X0, all the different chromosomal formats you can have, whether or not the SRY gene is active or not. These are all parts of genotype. You've got your phenotype, you've got your genital expression, you've got secondary sex characteristics which also form part of the phenotype. So whether you've got breasts or you grow a beard, which are not necessarily sex determinant, but they all are things that we use to determine sex. And as far as all the other variants that we use to determine sex, they are all bimodal. So in general, most people tend towards what we'd consider male or female. But that's not strictly true. People are spread across that in a double set of parabolas that most people hit towards that exactly male or what you consider exactly male or exactly female. But it's a tendency towards those two. It's not a strict binary. And that's the point about it. So even biological sex, in that sense, all the different forms of biological sex, the only one that tends towards a true binary is gametal sex. And it's the reason why anti-trans people tend towards that one, because it's the only one that is actually binary. But all those other ones are valid too. And gametal sex is not the one that's used to determine what sex you are at birth. It's phenotype. So, and of course, if you talk about can somebody change sex, well, yeah, they can. We have surgeries that create the alternative genitalia, which is almost undetectably detectable because there's variances in genitalia between people anyway. So, yes, people can change their sex. Yes, people can be born intersex to a point where they're somewhere in between. So,
and then the doctor just assigns it and
and screws the person's life up usually because they usually get it wrong.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So, and of course, gender identity is the way that your brain is sexed. So, is your brain more masculine or feminine or more male or female, however you'd like it to be?
Born in the wrong body is possible, I know.
Yeah,
Sorry?
or, in my case, does your brain bounce around like a ping pong ball?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, you had a question there, Brandon, at the end of what it said.
I said, yeah, born in the wrong body is possible. I completely know. I know that. So.
Well, I don't know if we'd even describe it as born in the wrong body. You're born with a body that I don't know whether you can. Jen, and Ring, would you say that it's born in the wrong body? I know it's the way that it's often explained to people, but I wouldn't necessarily say born
being in a male body. I think that's born in the wrong body.
Well, no, because I think you're born in a body that isn't completely configured to the specification that your brain expects.
Yeah,
so
I would say it's born into a body that doesn't match your brain.
Yes,
well, okay.
So I wouldn't necessarily say the body is wrong, because I mean you are a combination of those cells that first originally formed and made that body. So your body is your body.
That's not the right word.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I jokingly say I was born in the wrong body, but my dysphoria goes deeper than just my gender. I want a lot of body modifications. I'm barely gonna look human by the end of my transformation. And that's just it's not really even an expression of any sort of gender identity. It's more just an expression of identity.
Sorry, wrong species.
No, it's not even
not
that
only
I'm
is
wrong.
my gender wrong, my species is wrong.
I'm not trans species, because there are trans species people.
There are.
There are.
I'm not that. It's more so I don't know. I want to look like a zombie. If I was born a zombie, then I would have been happy. Like a female zombie specifically. So I'm not, and that's what I want to fix. I want to look like a zombie.
Or for me, it's when I feel male, which is most of the time I'm perfectly fine. Then I hit a femme swing, and it's well, and like my brain like weirdly gets like weirdly like what's the word?
Dysphoric?
Obsessive about my chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. It's often been described as born into the wrong body, but I don't think that there's a logical thing that you could say you're born into the wrong body, but you can be born into a body that wasn't formed the way that your brain expected it to be. And that happens to lots of people with lots of forms of dysphoria.
Yeah.
Because dysphoria is not unique to trans people. Dysphoria is something that happens to other people as well. You know.
Yeah.
Or
But
Yeah, it's not exclusive to the timing and the chemical exchange when you're a fetus, because the what do you call it? The testosterone and the whatever.
Yeah, there's
I can't think because I'm hammered. It's different timing than what the genitals are developed. So whatever exchange is going on there, if you're born with it switched up just a little bit, it messes with your psychology.
It does. And there are two hormonal washes that happen. One's in the third trimester during late brain development, and one's early in the second trimester. And the second, an incredible wash during hormonal wash that happens during the second trimester can actually affect physical appearances externally, because if you get the wrong hormones getting washed around, then that's where you can end up with large differences in physical looks of the, like where you have an intersex person where a penis doesn't develop properly, or you end up with a mixed genitalia, but there isn't any other reasons for it, like there's no SRY issues or mixed chromosomes, so you can have that just from hormonal wash. Most of the ones that cause that it's believed, I'm not going to say this is a fact because I haven't proved it, but it is believed that it's a secondary hormonal wash during the third trimester that actually affects the brain the most. And generally speaking, different balances of hormone washes are believed to affect not only gender identity development, but also your sexuality development. So depending on the levels of hormones that are washed through your body at the time, it changes the way the neuroreceptors work for hormones in your brain, because they attune themselves to the hormone wash they got, and your brain will then react differently to different hormone levels throughout the rest of your life, which is why trans people often explain that getting the wrong hormones at puberty is like being fucking poisoned, because your brain is not attuned to the hormones that your body's trying to pump through it, and it really does fuck people up.
Yeah,
it's a lot to do with your upbringing and stuff too, I think. The psychology of how you're raised.
Yeah, a lot of people think it's the psychology of how people are brought up. However, the studies do not back up that.
Yeah.
Even the crapped up studies like the. Go, Will. Go, Ring. Sorry.
If it were an upbringing thing, me with my fun, super fundy upbringing, I would still be identifying as cis if it were an upbringing thing.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, and that just doesn't
I
happen.
don't know what that means.
Same here.
Well, if you were brought up in an environment that frowned down on variant behaviour, like frowned down on somebody being trans or being gay or bisexual, and it was purely about upbringing, people with those things wouldn't come out of those environments. But they do. They come out all the time. Trans people come out of heavily religious environments that frown down on trans people. Same with bis and lesbians. It's the same thing. People don't choose this. They're effectively born with it. There are other things that can happen in people's life that can make them think that they are something that they are not. There are people who go through horrible things of abuse that might end up later on in life thinking that they're gay or bi, and they aren't. And that happens, and the same thing can happen to people who have been in bad situations where they're using a thing that, I think I'm trans, and they're using that to hide from something that happened in their past. that does happen. But those people in the long term regret transitioning if they try to transition. And those people need to be... as much as I fucking hate gatekeeping, those people actually need to be found and offered the help that they need to try and deal with their mental issues, as well as transitioning, if transitioning is what's good for them. Because whilst it's not as high numbers as people tend to think it is, the rate of detransition is about 4%. So of those people who are actually, I'm not saying people who claim they are trans and then stop claiming they're trans, that is a lot higher, because there's people who think they are and then realize that they're not, and that happens. But those who actually go through transition, who start hormones and everything like that, and then detransition later, the rate of that is about 4%. And that is a very, very low figure. If you were talking about that in anything else, most medical science would go, that's a bloody good failure rate. You know,
And
you don't get that in anything else.
I
But
say this every time just to lighten it up. Then they get a YouTube channel and get like 20,000 subscribers.
oh yeah, they do, don't they? Well, not all. I mean, some of them have a YouTube channel, but they're not anti-trans. But a lot of detransitioners become very bitter about what they went through. And generally speaking, they didn't transition as kids. They transitioned as adults, and they made all those choices for themselves. And they chose to self-fund their transition rather than getting the therapy that they need, or to lie to the people who are gatekeeping them so that they could get through. And as much as I hate gatekeeping, if you're going to lie about what you're going through, then it's kind of your own fault at the end of the day. You have nobody to blame for yourself.
Even as someone who's bi, I have to stop myself from gatekeeping, because people will say something and I'm like, but you know, people are who they are, you know.
Yeah.
Could you guys define gatekeeping to me, because I don't understand it?
Well, I'll define it in the way that trans people have experienced it. In the past, and in a lot of places now, it used to be that if you didn't fit a particular mold of what a counsellor thought a trans person should be, you would not be allowed to transition. You would not be allowed to have hormones. You would not be allowed to seek any of this stuff. You would be stopped and gate-kept because you didn't fit what this particular psychiatrist or whoever else was in charge of the situation said a trans person had to be. And usually that involved telling... block. Yeah, it was also a stumbling block. But it wasn't just a stumbling block based on, oh, you have other issues you need to deal with first. It was a stumbling block based on what this person thought a trans person should be. So in the past, it used to be, if you didn't come out as being heterosexual, so you couldn't transition to be a lesbian because obviously your sexuality was, they tied sexuality to gender identity way too much, which is just false because they're two entirely different things. If you didn't present feminine enough, you couldn't transition. So you had to make all these stupid jumping through the thing. And trans people are exactly the same as cis-het people in that trans people come from all different walks of life. You can have a trans woman who can be a bit butch, and that fucking happens because it's normal. And then of course non-binary people under this gatekeeping system got fucking slapped to the fucking curb because gatekeeping really shits on them. So I don't agree with gatekeeping in that sense. What I do think is that
I don't now either. I don't.
No.
Hearing
but
that.
What I do think should be a case is if you're going down the medical route of transitioning, there should be a requirement to have some counselling. That counselling shouldn't be the be-all and end-all of whether or not you get help, especially if you're an adult in a medical sense, because you're an adult, you can make your own dumbass decisions. But you should be required to go and have some counselling to try and sort out, because 9 times out of 10 any trans person who transitions is going to deal with other issues like family rejection and social rejection and things like that, because the world is shit towards trans people in general. So having that therapy from somebody who is a good therapist, and that is a hard one to find somebody who's a good fucking therapist, is very beneficial to somebody transitioning. And I don't think people should be allowed to say, oh no, I'm not going to do that bit. I don't think the doctor should stop you being able to get your medication just because you're refusing that. but I think there should be. I think it should be heavily pressed upon people that you need to have therapy as part of doing this, because therapy helps most people anyway, and being afraid of therapy is just ridiculous. But there is a fear of therapists amongst the trans community because of things that happen in, like what Money did in the past with David Raymer and things like that. There have been a lot of therapists like Money and Blanchard and people like that who've just shat on trans people from a fucking terrible height. And it's made the trans community afraid of therapists. And that needs to be fixed. And the idea of gatekeeping needs to kind of fuck off. And it needs to be coming... you need more an idea of general welfare than one of gatekeeping.
But gatekeeping isn't just exclusive.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just agreeing. It clicked.
Yeah.
Because there's gatekeeping in everything, in the atheist community, and no matter where you are, there's someone who's going to say, we don't do that, or it doesn't happen, you know. It's almost dogmatic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and then there's, you know...
even the harmonica man can learn.
Yeah. And of course, there's also, you know, financial gatekeeping.
If anyone's in the chats, is in any of the groups where we put out the link to the chat, we've still got 3 spots if people want to hop in. So be our guests and hop in and join the discussion if you want to. Yeah, if you want to come and flirt. Yeah, come and flirt.
And you know, mental health should be, you know, treated as on the same par as, you know, physical health.
Oh, I agree, and it should be free.
I disagree.
Yeah. Well, and that's another big problem with the U.S. system, is that a lot of people who have health insurance, it does not cover mental health.
It needs to, though.
It often does not include any kind of therapy or psychiatric meds.
I've been saying for a while, every single American should see a psychiatrist, or every single person should see a psychiatrist, you know? Just talk to somebody.
And it seems like you know,
go ahead,
you know, American healthcare, at least unless you can pay for it out of pocket, you know, unless you're rich enough to pay for it out of pocket, it's get you to where you can work again.
I'm nodding my head like you can see it. I agree
a lot
with
to
you,
say about
I agree with you.
a lot.
I agree with you, Rick.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Did you
Here's
have
the
any
thing,
more questions,
you know,
Brandel?
I
Randy?
was going to have a. I don't have a question, but I kind of like to tell a little story. Now, recently, I just canceled an appointment for getting a biopsy for cancer screening because I can't afford the $350 to go to the oral surgeon to get a biopsy done.
See, that's fucked up in my head. It's like,
scar
no.
tissue it has been there for like eons, and it's like, okay, it hasn't killed me yet. I'm not going to do it. And they're like, you know, this stuff can kill you. It's like, yes, I know, but I'm already stretched to the damn past the limit right now. You know, I'm not going to go get another loan on top of what I already have that I'm barely paying the monthly bills as it is. As a matter of fact, I'm about half a month behind on my electricity. So what you going to do? You know, you're just going to come and here's the thing, the oral surgeons here in America and most dentists and everything are not covered by any type of insurance unless it's the very basic, like cleaning your teeth and maybe making an extraction with like 50% or whatever that is of you paying it. And that's going to cost you about $500 too. So you're still going to go into massive debt. And, you know, so all these things, and then the dentist tells me the one time, oh yeah, this is the doctor I recommend. You need to go to him because it looks like, you know, I've seen this 100 times. I've been doing this for 40 years, and it looks like you got cancer, and it's good, and it'll probably kill you. And it's like, you gonna pay for it? Well, no. And it's like, okay, well, I'll try. Let's see what happens. And then as it turns out, even though I got decent credit, it would still be to the point to where I couldn't possibly make the payments and survive also, just for this one little procedure of taking a sample. It's fucking stupid.
If you lived anywhere else, they would have taken care of you by now. You know.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Yep.
do you have any other questions, Brandon?
No, that's good information. I'm good. If someone else wants to come in and you may need to make room, I can
Oh,
leave.
you can hang around. We got space, Brandon. But we still
I
got
know,
3 more spots for people,
Yeah, there's
and no
still a
one's
couple
hopping
empty
in.
chairs.
I wanted to read you the list too. There's agender, androgynous, bigender, cisgender, cis male, cis female, cis man, cis woman, cis female, cis male, F to M, gender fluid, gender nonconforming, gender questioning, gender variant, gender queer, intersex, male, male to female, neither, non-binary, pan, trans, trans female, trans man, trans person, trans woman, trans feminine, transgender, trans masculine, transsexual, and the list goes on. Oh, two spirit. I'm trying not to repeat myself because this list is repeating itself.
Is it like gender fluid and stuff like
Holy
that?
crap.
Not expression.
Though,
That was only 50, and I cut the list down.
yeah, though, as far
To be
as,
clear, I'm sorry. To be clear, gender fluid is not male leakage. I checked on it.
I knew someone was going to say that.
but also, as far as I'm aware, Two Spirit is a cultural thing, so you can only really be Two Spirit if you're First Nations. Otherwise, it's kind of a faux pas because it's cultural appropriation. It's a cultural term.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As an American, we do usurp a lot of things, so it's good. It's good to know.
I realised I just sent Jay a link, but he's probably at work. Sorry, Jay.
Dave just reminded me I have coffee right here. I completely forgot.
Yeah, you're never going to sleep, babe.
Yes.
I had a good sleep today. I did the hibernating thing. I slept for like 13 hours. It was a long week.
You don't need to get dressed, Dave. You can hop in and just be an icon. Other people are icons. It's fine.
Yeah.
You guys probably didn't hear the joke I told on B's channel the other day, did you? She
Oh,
almost
you can
kicked
tell it
me off
again.
of
No one's
B.
going to mind.
Okay, why did the sperm cross the road?
Oh, because you wore the
Because
wrong
I wore the
sock.
wrong sock this morning.
Yeah.
B almost kicked you out for that one?
Yeah, she
I-
said that's a little vulgar for even my channel. I'm like, you're all right. You'll survive.
It sounds a lot better, though, if you say because it was still in the chicken.
I was thinking I could change my image to a Canadian province, so then my icon would be the Yukon.
Robert X just asked, can someone become gender fluid if you cook them? If you cook them too long. I read that as cock.
That would be more like gender goo.
Gender goo. Yeah.
See,
Ew. Things that make you go.
Well, I've heard of giving somebody a hard pounding, but not to the point of making them a viscous fluid.
but to borrow from possibly the best episode of Doctor Who ever, some people see gender as a strict delineation of male and female, but in reality it's more a big ball of wibbly wobbly gender wender stuff.
Oh, we should go to record that.
I miss
Hey,
you.
Jay.
Whoops. How's it going?
Oh, there we go.
Love the hat.
Digging the hat, man.
Like that.
I do.
Mine's bigger.
How you doing, Jay? How? Okay, we gotta ask. How was the vow of silence?
It was good. It was really good. I realized I still don't know nothing, and
That's all of us.
I was stress free. It was the weirdest thing. No talking or typing or anything. I had no stress.
Oh, I'm next. Sign me up. I need a vacation
You last 2 seconds.
from
Yeah.
YouTube.
Well,
I tried today and I lasted like 8 hours?
Long enough to
you
sleep.
won't last at all. I've met Isaiah. You won't last at all.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Depends if I have a distraction. About the only time I've actually gone that long on YouTube is when I was at one of the gaming conventions.
Mm. So it was 2 weeks, wasn't it, Jay? 2 weeks.
10 days.
10 days.
Yeah.
You didn't say a word the entire time?
There was a couple times I had to talk because I was at work.
Yeah.
But other than that, no, I didn't say anything. Didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Didn't type anything.
You know, I didn't have a television throughout my entire 20s, and sometimes I truly believe it was more peaceful than now.
Oh yeah.
I didn't watch TV until from basically 21 until almost 30.
Mm.
I just didn't own a television. It was this weird thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's going on, you guys? Yeah, what's going on? Well, awful late or awful early, depending on where
Well,
you're at.
if we're going to be honest, we had a message from our good friend Jenny Morgan saying that was anyone around, because it'd be nice. Is anyone doing anything? You know? And I said, well, let's do a stream, and it looks like she's fallen asleep. But we all thought we'd be nice and social and have a stream anyway. So
There you go.
You know, my kids with my ex-wife, this is my one free night, you know? So I'm not going to try not to go to bed too early. Got to be cool every once in a while and stay up.
Nerdy just asked if our cooking show is something else. A cooking show is something that only happens on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Or if you're doing tile.
Yeah, I mean,
Or you're raising chickens.
I hear it. I hear it could be quite the cook-up.
It doesn't have the same zing, though, you know?
Yeah.
That one doesn't have the same punch.
Yeah, prefer to cook up.
We were kind of just doing open topic, you know?
Yeah.
Jenny came with the robots, and that we actually had a relevant conversation about it this time.
Yeah.
Robot?
Well, basically, how would you treat a robot? Would you be nice? You know, if it was like Jetsons, if your robot fell over, would you pick it up? You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
If
we
it
had
didn't
AI
if it didn't have its own ability to get back up, yeah, pick it up.
Yeah.
If it did, but it was struggling, would you stand there and watch it and laugh?
Well, I'd laugh a little bit, then I'd pick it up.
Or would you
that
pull
would-
out
that
a
would-
screwdriver and see if there were parts you could salvage?
Yeah, but that probably not.
Oh,
Like in
I am
LA,
not
we
reading
had-
what's going on in the chat anymore because they're talking about. Yeah,
Bukaki?
Yeah. Dave's talking about Bukuki.
yeah.
So in LA, we had those robot cops. People would kick them over and walk by, you know. So
Well, yeah, they're cops.
Wait,
Yeah,
robot
that comes.
cops?
they
Robot
were
cops was a real thing?
yeah.
Robocop, yeah.
They were these round. They were basically Daleks that were painted blue and white, and like if you know they were just there for observation. It was kind of like it was almost like an experiment, and it's always in Santa Monica and Venice, and people kicked the hell out of them. They were like,
So
no.
what was it, just
I am amazed
basically a
people
mobile
didn't
security
steal them.
camera?
Yes. But to be fair, if you live in a major city, there's a camera, like, you know, there's cameras everywhere. So it's not like, you know, and if you go to a place like Vegas, it's known that there's nowhere where you're not being watched. So I just and I have Apple products, so I just take it for granted I'm being spied on.
Well, I think that was probably less, you know, fuck the robots and more fuck the police.
It's true. It's true.
I have mapped out my building, and I know the blind spots of the security cameras.
Is that so you can get in undetected, Purple?
Well, if you want to do a drug deal or have sex in the stairwells, I'll tell you where to do it.
I know what we're doing when Will and I visit you,
where you can keep your diary when Big Brother takes over.
Oh.
Yep.
You know what's really funny? I have security cameras. I crossed cameras for that. There are no blind spots. Try me.
Oh, wow.
That's more for people that like to take packages.
I love the fact that your neighbors come and ask for the footage from your cameras. Whenever anything happens in the street, they come over and see Will and go, "Can we look through your footage?"
So we had a serial pooper. Someone walked their dog and they didn't pick it up, and it became a thing. And I didn't want to snitch because I saw it happen. Because I have security cameras, you know. And I didn't want to snitch, and I've known my neighbors longer than the other person. And I told my neighbor, who's a sheriff, I said, if you can come over and figure out my security camera, go right ahead. He walked in there. He was like, I'm in. He was in my camera in like 45 seconds. And they caught the serial pooper. So technically I didn't tell, but they caught him with my camera. So moral of the story is if you walk your dog around, pick up your dog's shit, you know. Yeah. Be courteous. It's one of those things.
Yep.
Or, get a robot dog.
Okay. See, that's different. I would love a canine. Like a real actual big box with a head. I would love a canine. That would be awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, awesome. When I was younger, I actually built the frame. It was all out of plywood and built the head and everything. We could never get it properly to work the way we wanted it, though. The remote control, they're almost impossible. No wonder they gave up trying to use them on the set, because they're almost impossible to remote control.
Yeah.
Canine was awesome.
Well, that's why there were several scenes where he had the scarf tied around Canine's neck and was pulling him.
Or there's one scene, I can't remember. There's one scene where Canine is on a conveyor belt, and the person who is the actor for Canine is talking, but it's just literally Canine on a conveyor belt, and it's going towards an incinerator. It's actually really cheesy by today's standards.
Oh, the number of times they just picked Canine up and carried Canine because it's too hard to do the. Yeah.
To be fair, I still watch the Loch Ness Monster one with Tom Baker, and that still holds up to this day. And that's some of the worst.
The episode's great,
guy in a ghillie suit dancing around, basically.
Cheesy movies are the greatest. You got better acting because they have to.
Well, you want an episode that the special effects look crap by today's standards, but the episode stands up. Talons of Wen Chiang.
Yeah.
That is an amazing episode of Doctor Who.
What most people don't realize about Doctor Who is the BBC wanted to keep it sensitive to younger viewers. So some of that campiness was intentional. Like for the episode Planet of the Spiders, the first giant spiders they came out with, the producer said looked too realistic and told them to take them back and make them more cartoonish. Because they were afraid they were going to give kids nightmares.
Really?
They did give kids nightmares. I'm bad for them giving kids nightmares.
They had an episode recently that gave me nightmares with giant spiders.
Oh, I love the new giant spiders. The episode's crap. It is so bad. The writing on that episode is so dreadful. But the spiders look awesome.
Yeah, car-sized spiders, that's nightmare fuel.
I am woefully behind on Doctor Who.
I thoroughly recommend that Dave should go and watch that episode of Doctor Who if he hasn't already.
Yeah, I won't give it away.
Most of my Doctor Who references are still from the Tom Baker era. I haven't seen much of the new stuff.
Cut and paste by.
I knew Dave was going to say something. You know what? The one show that actually gave me real nightmares. Every Sunday, I used to fall asleep to The Walking Dead, and that's the only show I would have dreams.
You were an adult.
I was grown. I'd fall asleep on the couch. I loved that show.
First
Glenn died.
First and only time I watched The Grudge, I had nightmares for 2 weeks after watching that film.
Yeah.
Event Horizon is the only one that I've ever had nightmares from.
I was just about to say that. To think that hell was in a different dimension, I was like, "Oh crap, it's real."
For me is when he spun around in the chair and he had no eyes.
Oh yeah.
For something it's the only movie that's ever woke me up out of a sleep.
Then Horizon.
Apparently, when I was a kid, Fox and the Hound gave me nightmares.
To be fair, the opening scene is nothing but gunshots and killing foxes.
Well, apparently it was the bear at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to show my age, but I cried when Bambi's mom became a meal. Flash ride.
The scene in Poltergeist where the mother tears off her own face for its time was pretty horrific to watch.
Well, I remember when I was 5 or 6 watching the original Godzilla movies from the 60s and hiding under a blanket.
Oh, wow.
But part of that was I was as terrified by the soldiers as I was by the monster.
You know what scared me was Hellraiser. And I went back and watched it as an adult, and I'm like, wow, this is not as intense as when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I never really had those problems, but then again, I was butchering animals on the farm at 6 years old. I was pretty much the family butcherer at that age. And they're like, Randy will kill anything. Assholes.
Why does Randy give me visions of The Hills Have Eyes now?
Because that's basically about it. My family had, even though there's all kinds of stuff, I'm not that old, they still had horses to pull stumps out of the fields.
Yeah,
I still plow fields behind a horse and all that kind of thing. My family grew up pretty much 100 years in the past and cutting down firewood. I was out there with an axe and everything as a kid just about every day, and then having horses pull them back up to the cabin, and then my cousins would get the saws out and they would do the thing in the little crotch, where they'd saw the firewood out and then split it and all that shit. So that's basically how I grew up as a kid, almost like an Amish kid with stupider people around me.
No, I know a lot of that too, because up through the early 1970s, my grandfather had the last team of horses for that half of the county.
So
Yep, and most of that was using them to drag logs out of the woods where they couldn't get the tractors, or in the spring when the ground was too soft to be driving machinery over it.
That's pretty cool. We didn't have the machinery to do so, but we'd have this team of horses that we trained. We loosened up their harnesses and everything, and then we'd twist a chain around a stump, and then we'd pull the horses out there to where it was just about ready. It was starting to get tight, and then we'd back them up a little bit, and we'd loosen up their harnesses, and then we'd tell them to jump. And that snap like that when the horses jumped twisted the stump right out of the fucking ground.
Wow.
Do you know what's funny? I do that with the '88 Ford F-150.
And how many horses is that?
Yeah.
No, I'm tripping out. I'm tripping out because it's pretty much still the same thing. There's stumps I have my truck's a war horse, and it still gets stalled out on stumps, and I put it in park, chip around a little bit around the stump, get back in my truck, pull it out a little bit more.
But
yeah, once you get all the small roots around from the top, the big thing is most trees have a big tap root, and it's just a gigantic son of a bitch. And all you got to do is you got to loosen everything else up. That way you can twist it and it'll snap underneath. You know, that's why they use dynamite and stuff like that for great big stumps, because they've already dug it way down, 6 foot down, but they still got this freaking 36-inch wide taproot underneath there that, you know, you can't cut it with anything because it's got sand all over it.
You know what's
so stick a dynamite under it and say, run.
Tumbleweed is like that too. Tumbleweed grows under. It's so crazy how tumbleweed's roots, how deep they get. Just for it to dry and me hit it with the car.
And though about, you know, horses, you know, kind of dwindling out in usage, there's actually a song about that. And it rocks way harder than it has any business rocking.
What song is that?
Heavy Horses
Really?
by Jethro Tull.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were going to say he's an old hippie and got no place to go.
I'm thinking of that song in the beginning of The Big Lebowski. It's that slower version where it's tumbling, tumble. I don't want to get a copyright strike, even though my singing's terrible.
Now, it's what is it? Sunday now? It's officially the Big Lebowski anniversary day.
Is it?
27 years, I think.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Oh,
I heard it on the radio earlier.
we got a few fans of that movie in here.
Really? That movie showed me that I could grow up and be a degenerate. I didn't just have to be a young degenerate. Bathrobes are cool.
Yeah.
There's still an In-N-Out on Radford. There still is one. It's
Well, I mean, it did predict a catchphrase. I mean, it just took like 20 years for it, you know, to catch on.
What's that?
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
I still say sometimes
it's so appropriate.
sometimes the bar eats you, and sometimes you eat the bar. I've loved it. That is like, I still say that. I still say ups and downs, strikes and gutters. People ask me how you doing. Oh, ups and downs, strikes and gutters.
Yep.
Never heard that one.
That movie's it's just filled with one-liners. Just
It's just classic.
Yeah, one of a long list of movies that everyone assumes everybody's seen that I haven't.
I actually had not seen it until Will did his stream on it, and then I went and watched it for the stream. So yeah. I mean, I'd seen bits of it, but I'd never watched the whole movie from the beginning to the end. So
You guys know who the Gray Man is? Yeah, he's got a comic channel and everything, and he does beer tastings and stuff like that. But he has this thing where he's playing Fallout, and you know his friends show up, and it's kind of neat. You know, it's just their thing. He just plays video games, you know, for half a damn day, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna go get laid. You kids have fun.
Apparently, Dave hasn't watched it. Jeff has. Jeff should hop in and talk about it.
Do you know I think they have a Big Lebowski store in my town.
And Jeff is actually an ordained Dudist priest.
Yes,
Absolutely.
he is. He's an ordained Dudist priest. So if we're going to talk about the dude, right, Jeff? I know he's in the chat.
Because of that movie, I still say that nihilism is exhausting.
The dude abides.
Yep.
I can quote that movie all day long.
Well,
I'm gonna go find it.
Say what you want about National Socialism, but at least it's an ethos.
Yeah.
Vladimir Ilyich Ulyanov.
That was one of the more fun streams too, right? Because it's a fun movie.
Yeah, though I will say, there are other Coen Brothers movies that I prefer more.
What's the other one called? Is it We're Out There?
Yeah.
I can't say
Oh, that
it.
was an amazing movie. That was
Also,
such an awesome movie.
Also, I'd probably rank Hail Caesar above Big Lebowski as well.
I have the Lebowski soundtrack and Where Brother We're Out There soundtrack. I still listen to that.
Yeah.
It still holds up, especially on long drives.
Hi,
Yeah.
Seraphin. I know you're only dropping by, but hi.
Is today really the anniversary? I feel like
What was that?
that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, I heard it on the local radio station when I was going to town to annoy people this morning.
So
I saw something on Twitter a couple of days ago that would be this weekend.
I saw John Goodman. I went and saw Wicked at the Pantages Theater because I'm that kind of person. And John Goodman was there, and he was wearing a flannel sweats and smelled so much of weed I could smell him like 10 feet away. He is who he says he
Yeah, that
is.
sounds about right.
He is no joke. And
If,
he's a
if we're
normal
gonna
dude.
talk, if we're gonna talk about awesome movies, we should we have to talk about the one that Jay's doing cosplay for at the moment, and
Yeah.
that's the Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
What do you want to know?
Oh yeah.
Jay is a
Why
super
the hell
fan
they
of
dropped
that
me off
movie.
in
I doubt
Chicago
there's
and
anything
forgot?
about it he doesn't know.
Yeah, it's the best jukebox musical ever.
Well, I grew up in the Chicago suburbs, so I drove down virtually every street they showed in that movie.
I've been down every street in that movie. I've even been to the mall.
Oh wow.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Is it all still there?
No, actually the mall itself was defunct before they started filming the movie.
Oh wow.
It
Yeah?
was already shut down. They actually got a hold of all those the shops that are there. They actually called them, had them come restock the stores, and the deal was whatever they broke, they had to pay for it.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
It was funny.
The
They had security guards in the mall. They had to hire security guards to watch the security guards because the original ones were stealing shit.
and the mall was, scheduled for demolition, so that's why the city let them drive through it.
That's awesome.
That is a good way to do it, though. Find a mall
They,
that's going to be
yeah, 'cause it wasn't
demolished
a lot.
and make use of it.
Yeah.
Every car in that parking lot was brand new.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh
It
wow!
was those were brand new vehicles. Every single one of them. They were like, "Do not hit a car."
And none of the drivers in that scene were stunt drivers. All the stunt people were the pedestrians.
Oh wow.
I can
Oh,
get that.
lucky no one didn't get killed.
Oh shit! My favorite line from the Blues Brothers. Well, what kind of music do you play in here, ma'am? We got
Both
both kinds, country and western.
Yeah.
Holy crap! Yeah, I played in the House of Blues there with Dan Aykroyd and Jim Belushi when they were getting their album Big Men Built Big Trouble. I got a signed copy of the CD in my collection here. But we did like a
wow!
3-person harmonica thing. But there's only I don't know. It was a packed house, but I don't know how many people were in there. I was pretty much the guy that just cleaned up afterwards and put the chairs up on the tables and shit at night.
Nothing wrong with
They
that.
heard me playing in the alley the day before. I got mugged earlier, and the only thing I had is my pickup truck and my case of harmonicas behind the seat, and everything else is gone. So, I got $2,000 that night. Made it home to Northern Michigan after that. I'm done.
Oh, are you from
Yeah.
Michigan too? You're from
Oh,
Michigan
yeah.
too? Nice.
Okay,
Oh,
are
yeah,
you
yeah.
really from northern
Kalkaska.
Michigan?
Oh, Kalkaska? I'm over by Ludington.
Not the Upper Peninsula.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
cool. Yeah, so you're not too
So
far
why
away.
do
100
people
miles.
call that northern Michigan when there's a whole big section that's
No.
way further north?
Because that's the UP.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah,
where
that's
I
the
was
UP.
up in the UP.
It's the northern lower. Like they
Yeah.
call it northern lower Michigan.
And I'm in
Or in
Western
my case,
Central.
northwestern lower.
Yeah, and I'm in West Central.
I don't know why. I just don't know why.
So what part of the hand is that?
just like Travers. In my area, it's on the
If you look
pinky.
at the hand, I'm like right here.
Okay, good.
Okay,
Better
so
than
Michigan
being,
looks
right
like a hand does it.
No, that's legend is the hand map. That's
Yep.
that's like
I
The
didn't-
Lower
see,
Peninsula
see,
looks like a
Aussie, I
mitten.
never heard that before.
Yeah, the Lower Peninsula of Michigan looks like a mitten.
it does. It really does.
And the
Hi,
Upper
Seraphim.
Peninsula, the
Yeah,
Upper
this-
Peninsula is separated by the Great Lakes, and it's only part of Michigan because they lost the war with Ohio, so they didn't get Toledo. So they got the Upper Peninsula as a consolation prize.
He looks like a fish.
Yeah, see, most people in America
Yeah,
are not aware of
totally.
this, that Michigan actually went to war with Ohio for who owned Toledo.
Yeah.
Really?
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yes, there's a little strip of land down at the bottom of Michigan to where, and this is the what is it? The football rivalry now, purple.
Yeah, well, that's why that continues with the football to this day, yeah.
Michigan and
So
Ohio State.
Seraphim said Michigan looks like the hand and Florida is the penis. So, so America can wank.
We know why it's so itchy down there.
You need
Well,
to powder Florida.
Somebody was asking the other night that if Florida's the penis, does that make Alabama the testicles?
What does that make Texas?
Well, wouldn't that make Texas the
Doorknob.
testicles?
The testicles.
So there's Neil 604 the atheist. He had a question earlier this evening about what state everybody was from. The conversations of what is your food of your state that everybody's recognized by, and mine in Michigan is the pasty. It's like a pie that
Yep.
people put in their pockets and everything when they went into the mines, and it stayed warm, and then they can put it on their shovels or whatever and eat it. But you can tell if you're from the Lower Peninsula because you put gravy on them, but if you're from the Upper Peninsula, you use ketchup.
Okay.
Wow. In California, it's avocados.
Well, and with the pasties, similar to the pineapple on pizza, is the debate of whether or not they include rutabagas.
I always thought pasties was something you put on nipples.
No, those are pasties.
Yeah,
not
we're talking
pasties.
Oh, okay.
Aha! Pervert!
You're just now learning this?
Yeah, you're only just learning this.
I've known this woman for 2 years.
There's a reason, damn it, Jen is its own hashtag.
Yeah.
And its own
Yeah.
shirt.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a shit.
Oh, speaking of
Yeah,
perverts, California's almost also famous for bacon wrapped hot dogs. Those are perverted because they're so damn good. Get some green peppers on there. Oh,
Oh, man.
Oh, they're called ghetto dogs because I have no other. That's just what they're called. But they're the greatest thing. They're just a good.
Now I want a fucking hot dog. Hey, I've got sausages. I can't have a hot dog tonight.
They wrap them in bacon and they slow cook them on the. If you go to like any sports events, there's old ladies cooking them outside the stadiums. It's
That sounds like a heart attack waiting to happen, but I want one.
Yeah.
But honestly, when you're
Okay.
walking out the
Sounds good.
football, people are usually so wasted. They're like they love those damn things.
Minnesota.
Isn't that the thing? Like if you're really drunk and you're walking around the inner city and you see a kebab store, you go, I fucking want to eat a kebab. And I mean, a late night kebab store is the worst place to buy a kebab. You're liable to be vomiting it up in the sewer, even on the side of the road, even if you weren't drinking. So
Same here. Same here. Same thing. Same thing.
Okay. Minnesota is the home of Spam. And Spam is all the stuff they decided wasn't good enough to put in the hot dogs. So if we put it in a can, we've got their money before they see what they've gotten.
Stuff posing as meat.
They ain't nothing but tits, toes, and tuck
Okay.
holes.
So, when I was in the military, I'd get a hot dog and I'd top it with mac and cheese.
Oh, I had that tonight. Hey,
That actually
chopped up,
sounds really nice.
Jalapeno hot dogs in Belvedere Sheldon cheese.
That actually sounds like something. That sounds good.
Yeah. So yeah, now I'm picturing a ghetto dog, topped in mac and cheese.
Oh, you just invented something.
I like the gas station brats with nacho cheese on them. That's pretty good that way too.
Well,
If I could have a vat of nacho cheese and not die of a heart attack in a month, I would have one in my kitchen right now.
Yep.
you know, in the neighborhoods I lived in, if you could cut up a hot dog in the mac and cheese, you were one of the rich families.
When I was a kid, there was a place called Bob's Big Boy. And
Didn't they do that on
We
Sorry.
still got big boys.
Yeah, there's a chain of those all over.
There's only like a couple on it left in California, and every Sunday after church they had a buffet, and I would put nacho cheese on bacon. As a little kid, it made church bearable. Let's just put it that way.
Wow.
I would be in church like, oh, I
Yeah.
can't wait to get out. I can't, because we'd go early in the morning, so I would be starving by the time we got to Bob's Big Boy. Good. Those were actually good memories, man. The good old days.
Okay, apparently Bob's Big Boy now exists only in Southern California. They're down to only 5 operating restaurants.
I was about to say, because there's like one on Wilshire. There's
The
one
rest
on
of them are just Big Boy,
Crenshaw.
aren't they?
Yeah, I think they just changed to big boy.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, this is saying
the
that
original Big Boy name was a kid called Richard Woodruff, which is the same as my uncle, Richard Woodruff. And right around the same time, he was born, but the name come out. But that doesn't matter. Anyways,
Okay,
our
yeah.
big guy fell down in a windstorm.
Okay, yeah. This
So-
says there are 121 Big Boy restaurants in the U.S.
So you're saying he'd be Dick Woodruff?
Yeah. But at least his name wasn't Liquor. Or whiskey. Gonna be Dick Liquor.
Dick Liquor.
I used to work with a guy named Harold Lick.
I grew up with a kid, and I'm not scared to say his name because he was not a nice person. I grew up with a kid named Danny Deldo.
Danny. I went
And
to
if
school
you-
with Wayne Kerr.
And if you grew up to not be an asshole, I apologize.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I went to school with Wayne Kerr. I think his parents were absolute assholes because you must have known if you name your kid Wayne Kerr, you know what you've done.
I always felt sorry for people that had names like that.
Yeah.
Always. So you can
Kinda reminds me
imagine.
of my old boss. She always used to tell me, "Hey, don't touch those," and then I put butterscotch back.
And and his last name was such a point of contention that when he was on the football team, they took all the last names off the jersey
Yeah.
because they didn't want to put his last
Wow.
name on. They didn't want to put his last name. Yeah, well, it's still kind of super conservative where I'm from. So the whole time
Wow.
he played, they didn't have names on the back of jerseys for 4 years,
Wow.
basically. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty bad. Just from one guy with a bad name that you can't help being born into.
But that's what.
Horrible.
But that's how being conservative rots your brain, because you start policing people's last name.
Yeah.
Or everybody's crying about censorship and cancel culture. There's only one group of people I've seen holding book burnings.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Serious.
Yeah, it's always religious people.
And not just book burnings now, they're burning fucking masks.
You know what? That kind of gave me the chills yesterday.
Yeah.
That when I saw that, I was like, "Wow, that's not smart."
Yeah.
They're doing that now?
Yeah,
haven't
they're
watched
burning masks.
television or anything.
With the kids there with the big drum throwing the masks in. Not just the hospital grade ones, but the ones that people have made out of cloth and everything, they're burning them. In protest for having to
makes
wear
sense.
masks.
When they held a book burning at a public library in Ohio, one of the things they threw in was the complete home electrician's guide. because of the explicit references to male and female sockets.
Oh, conservatives are dumb.
You know what though? Right now, people are freaking out over.
Really dumb.
They're freaking out over Dr. Seuss and Potato Head.
Yeah.
The Dr. Seuss one. I mean,
saw.
go, Randy.
Go ahead.
It's
There you
fun
go.
to watch people. It's fun to watch people lose their.
I saw in a newspaper. There was one of them Sunday comics where it said when they were getting the "It's Cold Outside" thing with what's his name and Lady Gaga singing that, and you know they're trying to ban it and everything, cancel culture kind of thing. Well, it showed a cartoon of a DJ, and she was saying, "Yeah, this song won't be played due to the whatever the hell." Now, let's play a little ditty by whatever star it is now, and how she tells us how to eat her ass.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about
That
WAP?
shit, that still plays.
Yeah, they don't like "Baby It's Cold Outside" because
Dirty.
because of rape culture. Which if you listen to the song in today's context, it sounds rapey. But in the context of the time when it was just two people flirting with each other. They weren't that context wouldn't have been the
romantic.
context of rape.
So are we becoming Victorian, where we're like covering up frescoes and Roman statues, putting pants on,
Well, I think the conservatives would like that, and we have a Jeff.
Oh, hi, Jeff.
How's it going?
yeah.
Hi, Jeff.
So yeah, I haven't long woken up, so
That's okay. How are you doing, Jeff?
yeah, not too bad, not too bad.
That's good.
Yeah, I've got a little book I'm gonna have to read this morning, so
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole Dr. Seuss thing, though, was fabricated by Fox News.
Oh, definitely.
No one else really cared about it.
Well,
Because
so,
it wasn't even
yeah.
like to put pressure on the company. It was done after the company had already made the decision that we're not going to print these 6 books out of his 60-story collection because these didn't age so well.
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, there's a bit of a
And-
difference as well between a company willingly taking a book out of print and fucking censorship that these dumbasses don't seem to understand.
And
Yeah.
also,
Yeah, and the
there-
company's only taking it out of print until they can modify it because that, like,
Well, and
the
thing is-
Chinaman reference will get toned down, and they'll change how the picture looks, and then
Yeah.
they'll republish the book.
I mean, to be honest,
this has
it's,
happened all the time.
It's something. I mean, obviously, because I saw what Noodle and I do on a weekly basis. It's something they could probably do with the Asterix books,
Yeah, they could
Because there's a
definitely do
lot
with
of
toning some of them
There's a lot
down.
of panels in them that need toning down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Though,
and I don't see a problem with that. You're not losing the story in that. You're just making it more appropriate for a modern audience.
I'm not saying you can't. I'm not saying don't have the black characters. I'm just saying draw them in a. Don't draw them like fucking take the
Gorillas.
images where they're drawn like fucking gorillas out of it.
Oh, and Jen, by the way, Chinaman is not the preferred nomenclature. It's Asian American.
But
To quote the Big Lebowski.
Yes.
yeah.
I had to.
But so like one, all the books being removed from print are like the obscure super obscure titles that no one's buying anyways. And two, I think part of the reason why it actually like even breached the public consciousness is because they made the announcement around Dr. Seuss's birthday.
Yeah.
Well, Fox News started publicizing it on his birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the decision had been made a while ago. Fox was just
Yeah.
looking for something that they could
Well,
sensationalize.
another thing that people miss is a lot of these images they're pulling up that he drew that they're saying were racist were because in World War II he worked for the U.S. military propaganda department.
Yeah.
The government was paying him to make the Japanese look stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people will look at some of the Golden Age comics of those days.
Yeah.
You'll see some really, some pretty damn
Tons
racist
of
depictions of the
propaganda.
Japanese.
The sexism in Golden Age
100
comics is
years of
horrendous.
propaganda.
And of course, the simple question of, it surprises you that a man born more than 100 years ago didn't have the same social sensibilities we have now.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I still don't see a problem with changing stuff to make it more acceptable. In that sense, you're not destroying his work. You're just making it
If
more
you
acceptable.
can update it without significantly changing the story.
Well,
I
and
don't see the problem.
one of the ones that that was pulled to think I saw it on Mulberry Street. Yeah, that one could easily be fixed.
Same with McElligot's pool. I mean,
Don't remember.
so you're talking about a whole heap of different fish. I mean, it's
Yeah, almost any of the books, it's only like maybe 2 or 3 pages that they'd have to change the illustrations.
Yeah.
But,
and possibly a couple of the lines in them, because there are a few lines that are a bit iffy if you
Yeah.
Yeah.
in modern
I saw it on Mulberry
knowledge.
Street was actually the first book he got published.
Yeah.
And he was turned down by more than 30 publishers before he got that into print.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I think that has a bit of historical significance that it kind of needs to still be out there.
But
Yeah.
But the bigger of the two stupid things is the whole Mr. Potato Head thing. I mean, that's just
The potato head.
it isn't even a thing. They made it a thing when it is. There is nothing to the story.
Again, Hasbro changed the packaging a bit just to make it more, generally acceptable and to try and highlight it as being the whole family instead of one
Exactly.
character.
It wasn't so much about making it
He was a real
gender
fixator.
inclusive. It was about the package is the whole family. It's not just Mr. Potato Head. So we're going to call it Potato Heads because it's the Potato Heads. You still have a Mr. Potato Head. You still have a Mrs. Potato Head. You still have potato children. You can build them any way you damn well like, but you could always do that. Nothing has changed except they've branded it different.
And if you feel like a good laugh, you should YouTube Pierce Morgan's reaction.
Oh, Pierce!
He lost his shit over a kid's toy.
But I love the fact that his co-host was ripping
And we're
the
the
shit out of him.
snowflakes.
She tore him apart. She was like, "You can't be fucking serious, Piers.
He said-
This
he
is
said-
a
he
non-issue."
And the Wokies have struck again. I was like, "Ooh, Pierce, you got me. I gotta see this now." From that moment, he lost his shit over a
And
toy.
we're the snowflakes, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
to be
I'm
honest,
saying.
To be honest, anytime someone can trigger Piers Morgan, it's a fucking result.
Oh, it was hilarious.
It was.
It's a sport of mine.
stand
Watching him make an ass out of himself.
I can't.
It
stand
happens
Fred, I
regularly,
really
though.
can't. Yeah, I really cannot stand that man.
Well, and a really important thing with all this stuff about, the old racist references and that is that we can't just bury these things and claim they never happened.
No.
They
You know
should
what?
be out there so that people can discuss them and say, yeah, this is what people used to believe. Isn't it nice to see that our society is progressing at least a little bit?
Exactly, and I get trashed when I say this,
Yeah.
but you have to have objectivity. When I look back at the past, if it's already happened, I'm not trying to control it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I love Casablanca. I don't want them to change the piano player. I watch Are You Being Served? They say a lot of offensive stuff.
Oh, very
It's one of those
much.
things. But it's one of those things, if you can't stand the heat, don't be in the kitchen. Like, I knew what I was getting myself into when I watched the show. Like,
Yeah,
I
Nerdy-
know.
Nerdy is teasing me about Lego, and that's why up until they started the Star Wars franchise, the Lego guys all had the same yellow heads. Because they were supposed, they could have done them in a more flesh tone, but they specifically wanted to avoid any gender or any racial reference to them.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Just like why all the Simpsons characters were originally all yellow.
Except for Apu.
Except for Pooh, which
Well,
is
that's
a
why I mean,
racial reference.
until he became a recurring character in the
He is a
series.
beloved character.
So I have a dumb question. Did they really get rid of Apu? Did they really get rid of it?
I thought what it was is
I haven't seen him in a while.
actor the actor,
Hank
the
Azaria.
actor, yeah, he said he won't voice the character anymore.
Oh.
But
So it's the actor himself.
on my like I already tweeted it, but my opinion on the whole Dr. Seuss thing is, there are two ways to handle it. You can do it the Warner Bros. Way, where you release it with the disclaimer that's saying, hey, this was a product of its time.
Yeah.
Or there's the Disney one where you lock it away in the Disney vault and pretend it never happened. I very much prefer the Warner Bros. Way.
I agree. You put a disclaimer on it that, this was made in this time period, and, ideas have changed.
Yes, which is fine in most things, but when you're dealing with things you're giving to children, I can understand why Dr. Seuss would want to take them off the shelves and re-edit them and then re-release them with fixes, because that kind of makes sense.
But for an adult culture, though, I think there's a lot of fence walking, which is, a little too far of, okay, if you're offended by that, you're just just a complaining little piece of shit, because that's not offended to anybody. You're just making it up to be offensive, so you can cancel it out. Kind of like my ex-girlfriend, take the trash out, put the seat down. It hurts when you put it there. Nag, nag, nag.
Dog just called you Mr. Potato Head, Will.
I know he did. I saw that. I love you, dog. I love you. I love you, dog. You know what, though? I get mad when they go in the past and cancel people. Like, when everybody, a couple years back, they were like, we're going to cancel John Wayne. And I was like, no, you're not.
No, yeah, it didn't go very far.
I grew up watching John Wayne movies. Again, if you don't like it, it's one of those things, and don't watch them. When I'm having a bad day, I put on Sons of Kate Elder. It makes me laugh. It still makes me laugh. It's just one of those.
That fight scene is fucking great.
Oh, it's great.
Just tossing the younger brother around like he's dragging.
I have to throw this one to Jeff. This one because Dog just said he just got a news notification that Nigel Farage has quit politics for good.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. I haven't seen the news today, so.
You know what's gonna happen though is that he's gonna start his own Fox News over there. He's gonna be a part of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I forget how many times he's quit and come back now.
Yeah, how many times has he quit in the past, Jeff?
I mean, he quit as UKIP leader like 3 times,
Yeah. To make really propaganda YouTube videos of standing on the wharf saying, "Look at all these immigrants coming into our country."
Yeah.
I didn't. Oh, go ahead, Ring.
Brain. Sorry. Though, oh yeah, the original True Grit, with John Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
That's an example of, or at least for the time, a strong female character.
Very much so, and I think what happens is they want to sterilize everything, but you can't go back in the past and change things that have already happened. That's my thing. Change your actions now. If you could create the future you want, but you can't go back in the past and dig somebody up and yell at their bones. It just doesn't make sense to me.
And it doesn't make sense from the point of view of learning from the past. I mean, rewriting history, it doesn't make any sense. We need to remember it because we fuck it up so often that we have to learn from the fuck ups that we have, and you can't do that if you're rewriting history. If you're trying to make the history books different to what actually happened, then
and that's what they do a lot with remaking the classics. So I'm waiting for them to try and do a racially sensitive version of Blazing Saddles.
But that's what I find funny though, is that conservatives are some of the absolute worst for rewriting history.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
They are absolutely terrible for it.
Do you know
they don't know how to write that well?
So Purple, I have a question for you. If you're going to write a racially sensitive version of Blazing Saddles, it is the guy on the roof shouting, "The sheriff's eating nougat!"
Yeah.
That's an old joke. Stu and I are gonna redo
The thing of it is,
and get canceled. Stu and I are planning to redo Blazing Saddles and get both of our channels taken off of YouTube.
well, with Mel Brooks, he did that, so he can show everybody just exactly how ridiculous, stupid people were. And then, when the guy rode into town and everything, he even pulled the, hey, I'm going to shoot the guy or whatever, and all these white people are standing around, somebody help that man. And then he gets into, he sneaks in the room, he's doing this. He sneaks in the sheriff's office.
I am so good, and they are so dumb.
The salt of the earth, morons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
the
even
reason why movies like that, Mel Brooks did that, was to expose things that were incredibly stupid.
Yeah.
But if you look at a lot of the TV shows from the 70s, like when I was a kid, I was home all the time because of my asthma. I used to watch Good Times. I can't remember the name because all in the Family.
Sanford and Son.
I'm the real life Sanford and Son.
This is something I distinctly remember from being a child, is watching All in the Family, and my dad came in the middle of one of Archie Bunker's rants, and he said, "You kids listen to this guy, he makes good sense."
You should have seen the original British thing that Archie Bunker was based off of.
Do you know? I started watching
worse.
Oh, that's awful. That's what they call their neighbors. the double N word.
But,
yeah.
And my dad was kind of weird for his era. That he had no problem with black people, but he would come out with things like, "I've got nothing against the Mexicans, but they just don't work as hard."
In the case of Nigel Farage, say if, Noodle and I were walking down, a street in Britain, and, not talking, he'd probably peg the wrong one of us as being the actual Brit.
Yes, absolutely. Because he's seeing immigrants everywhere. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
He is off his
Yeah,
rocker.
he'd want Noodle kicked out, and you could stay.
Yeah.
Well, for Blazing Saddles, Spooky is saying we should do it in Lego. Nerdy is saying it should be with the Muppets.
Oh yeah, with Waldorf and what's his name?
Yeah.
Statler and Waldorf.
Those two guys.
Yep.
We could do
Yeah,
we could do a
Statler and
stick
Waldorf.
figure Blazing Saddle.
Well, yeah, but I shoot with this hand.
That's one thing. They should just start showing them again. I'm kind of against remakes, but I said this 26 years ago when they started doing this.
That would be
In
cool
the
though.
90s.
If Gonzo did it's not Richard Pryor. I want to say it's Richard Pryor, but it's not Richard Pryor who plays the sheriff,
Oh,
is
I
it?
can't remember his
I can't
name.
remember what the actor's name
Cleavon
is.
Little.
There you go.
Yeah. If you had Gonzo as that, then the guy on the roof could go that the sheriff is a whatever.
The sheriff
I
is a
don't trust that
whatever.
Gonzo. He looks like a chicken fucker.
Yeah. But Brain. Oh, on remakes, there is one remake that I do like better than quote unquote the original.
Okay.
The 2016 live action Jungle Book.
I've actually seen
Really?
that. I've seen that.
It was
I
alright.
have not
It
seen
was
any of
pretty
the
good.
Disney live action ones.
Yeah, they bring. In my opinion, it's about as close as you can get to Rudyard Kipling's, Jungle Book. You know, it's as close as an adaptation you can get, and not have it PG-13 at the very least.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is a good movie.
Cartoon I liked when I was a kid, and I always had to watch it whenever it came out, was Ricky Tikki Tavi.
Oh yeah,
Ricky Tikki Tavi. So at my elementary school, they would show it on film.
Yeah.
Now I want to watch it again. Jeez, where did you drink that one up from?
Awesome.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to not watch the original, but I want to watch the live action movie and the new series of Star Blazers.
I guarantee you, Ricky Tikki Tavi is on.
Wait, they did
YouTube.
a new Star Blazers?
They did. In 2013, they made a new anime of it, and they made two seasons, I think, of it. It's actually supposedly really good, and I haven't been able to find it. I don't want to sit and read subs. I know generally it's better if you do, but I would want it dubbed.
Yeah, I can't, with my dyslexia, I can't keep up with subtitles. I need it dubbed.
But I have the same problem, Pip. But they also did a live action movie version in 2010, and I want to watch that because I saw a preview for it, and it actually looks really good.
I'll have to see if like Netflix or Amazon or someplace has that.
It's on Amazon. It is on Amazon. I do know that, but I don't have Amazon, so I can't watch it. It's called Space something. Yakamoto or whatever the name of the ship was. It's more close it's not Star Blazers because it's close. They followed the Japanese name. Same with the new series. I don't think it was renamed. They were not renamed Star Blazers like the original one was for other people. Is it Battleship Yamato?
Yamato.
Yeah, Yamato.
The Yamato was the battleship they rebuilt for Star Blazers. Yeah.
So,
I'll be researching where the hookers are.
But yeah,
I'm gonna take off. I guess we're
Jay.
get done.
Bye,
Great
Jay.
talking to you. Great talking to you.
Good
See
to
you
see
later.
See you guys later.
Bye.
Yeah.
The Ricky Tikki Tavi is on YouTube. And it's in Thai, Russian, and English.
Oh, I'm gonna have to watch it again now. I haven't watched that since I was a kid.
Me too. That's why I instantly looked it up. I was like, oh, that brings me back.
I knew
That
I'd bring
really
up some
does.
nostalgia there.
Yeah. We had actually gotten it we usually frequently rent it on videotape from the library, and then one of us found a DVD of it and some other Chuck Jones adaptation at in the cheap bin at Walmart or something, and we snapped that up.
Oh, that's
Has
awesome.
anyone seen the new version of Watership Down? Is it actually any good?
I'm actually surprised they did manage to do a good job with a G-rated adaptation.
Oh, Watership Down. Yeah. I mean, I'm an enormous fan of the original cartoon version of it, the cartoon movie.
Yeah.
I think that is absolutely amazing, but I haven't seen the new one. I've sort of been put off from it because I've got so many fond memories of the original cartoon that
That being said,
if you ever get a chance, look up the making of Johnny Quest, the original series.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of innovations they had there.
Oh, one of my sisters legitimately had a crush on Johnny Quest.
I've been. It's not very far. It's not that far away from where I live. I've been to the actual place, Watership Down.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's in Hampshire where I live, but it's sort of up the other end of the county for me.
Now I will say I didn't watch the original. I haven't seen the original animated movie, but I have read the book 2 or 3 times. And so, as someone who read the book,
whiskey farts.
The Netflix BBC adaptation is about as close as you can get and have it G, and it's really well done.
Cool.
I think that movie, sort of the original movie, that shocked a lot of people at the time, because I think it was like they just thought it was going to be a nice cartoon film about rabbits, and didn't necessarily know the story.
So I have to ask you, Jeff, do you remember the Goodies doing their mocking of Watership Down, where they had Big Bunny and they went to the moon? And you don't.
But that reminds me, is Dave still in the chat? He still owes us a dance.
He does. He still has to do the Funky Gibbon.
I looked it up. The Funky Gibbon is amazing.
It is.
It's actually made better by the fact that they are all dancing out of sync with one another.
Overall,
it always seems like Bill Oddie is like 2 seconds ahead of the rest of the others.
If you've ever
and he's the only one dancing with any enthusiasm as well.
I've got Bill Oddie's book where he took the Goodies book where Bill Oddie writes the preface about all the music that they did and how hard he found it to do, because he is the only one of the three of them who actually has a music background at all.
Yeah.
And whilst Graham can hold a tune, Tim can neither hold a tune nor hold a rhythm. So all the mixing of the songs became a personal nightmare for Bill to do because Tim couldn't sing.
Are you dance shaming? There's nothing wrong with people that
no, this wasn't about dancing. This was about their actual singing. He loved doing it. He loved doing all the music that they did on it. But whenever they did one where the three of them were meant to be singing, it was really hard. And if you go back into some of the recordings where there is group singing of them, you will find that there is actually no Tim in the group singing because Bill cuts it out and he sings Tim's part.
Oh, and
so Tim only gets solos. He doesn't get the group.
Well, and then the Blues Brothers, the reason, like, you can notice how, like, the reason you notice that Aretha Franklin's mouth movements don't match up with the song is because she couldn't lip sync, so she actually sang it live, but then sang it again for when they dubbed over, and they couldn't match the lip movements to the audio.
Yeah, she was good for that kind of thing.
Yeah,
I bet I could see her saying, "Nope, I'm gonna sing it." I could see her looking at me like, "Nope."
Did you guys see Blues Brothers 2000?
Yes.
At the end, they had all the blues players on the end, and I played with most of those people. Those are the guys who taught me how to play.
There's some good music in that film, but compared to the original film, it wasn't very good.
See, that's the problem.
It's pretty cheesy, especially when they were trying to hide, from the cops, and they pull the ashtray out, and all you see is a chin and mouth, of Dan Aykroyd saying, "Hey, now sneak over here this way, or do this or that," and it's like, oh, come on.
Yeah,
that's just stupid. Drive the car underwater as if it was going to run through, anyways. And,
but isn't that the problem with some movies? They're trying too hard, and so with certain remakes, what's going to happen. I was watching the Lower Decks. It's a Star Trek show. It's Rick and Morty. It's Rick and Morty in space. I love it, but because I'm a Star Trek savant, they make these really blatant Star Trek references, and sometimes I like the show, and I'm like, wow, they're trying really hard.
Well, I think Lower Decks is supposed to be like the average crew member on a Star Trek ship.
True.
Yeah.
I liked it. I loved it. I'm rewatching it right now.
Like, it is actually a Star Trek show. It's just not one focused on the bridge crew for once.
Yeah,
it's great.
And
it's
kind
great.
of satirizes it.
They actually have some really good storylines. Once I figure out
I might have to turn the TV back on.
It's on one of those pay sites. It's on.
Yeah.
It was CBS.
Oh, never mind then.
It was CBS. Now they call it Paramount Plus.
Yeah. So, if you like that kind of humor if you, but I only really suggest this if you like meta humor, or if you like it when stories get meta, because I can see it being a deal breaker for people. I suggest John Scalzi's book, Red Shirts.
I'll definitely. I need something new.
But-
I'm gonna put that in my phone right now.
Yeah, it's a story about, lower crew member, a bunch of
Who always
ensigns,
die.
a bunch of red shirts who realize that they're the extras in a Star Trek ripoff.
And they don't want to die.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hey, if you want an
That's
action
awesome.
adventure, partial sci-fi, order my book, Curio. That's my latest novel.
Awesome.
Julie LaVoice is going to do a reading of that this week, actually.
Oh, cool.
On Wine and Reason.
Awesome.
So that's just my latest novel. I got a series of books before that with short stories and stuff. So,
That's awesome. So,
I got to get mine all together. A lot of the random lines I'm throwing out in the chats are just parts of my novel.
oh wow,
References
did
to
not
the
know
Galactic
that.
Alliance.
Hey everyone.
how's it going?
Hey,
Hello.
how are you?
Nice and easy.
I've been better, I suppose. It's
Oh.
like 4:30 in the morning my time. I don't know why I'm awake. I think I smoked too much last
Would you
night.
like to talk naughty?
I'm sorry, what?
Would you like to talk naughty?
Don't I do enough of that?
Maybe, but I haven't heard it in a while, so go for it.
I have to. I have to
Okay,
clean.
you naughty.
You're so
I have
bad,
to-
Reggie.
If you want me to talk dirty, I have to clean my kitchen.
I have to go cook dinner.
Yeah.
Filthy man.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we're talking naughty. So you take the cord and you cross it over.
Talking naughty.
Jesus Christ. What is wrong with you people?
We don't know yet. We were hoping you could tell us.
Well, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go and put the dinner on
My
and
only
come back.
question is, if you want to know what's wrong with you people, do you want the laundry list or the condensed version?
Oh, dude, go with the laundry list. This has been a long stream already. You may as well.
Uh,
So,
I haven't had enough
I'll be back
coffee today.
right back.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it is quite early in the morning. This is usually the time I get up.
Yeah, I'm usually
I have no
still
idea why the
sleeping.
hell I'm still up.
I gotta be ready for work by 6, and then I go in at 7. Because, I basically live at work.
Work. 4-letter word.
Yeah, for
Exactly.
real.
Yeah, I still haven't gotten to bed yet, so.
Yeah, neither have I.
Purple, when do you ever get to
Oh.
bed? Let's be honest with ourselves here. Purple, when do you ever get to bed?
I try real hard to always get to bed before sunrise. I manage that about 3 days
I
a
was
week.
going to say 1976.
I picture Purple falling asleep like every other day.
Yeah,
I
I
would
wish
say
I
once
could.
a week.
Well, I think the last time Purple fell asleep, he woke up in a crater and all his friends were dead.
You're terrible.
No,
Was that a,
tissue paper is terrible.
Well, that goes without
What the hell
saying.
reference was that? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
No,
When they did that
I was
episode?
talking about the Chicxulub impact. Because Purple's a dinosaur.
Oh, I see.
Purple being a dinosaur, I'm surprised we're not calling him Barney.
No, I absolutely hated Barney.
That's
I
the.
had a toddler when Barney was the big thing.
Ah,
Barney was scary and incessant. Like I was in
You
In
know,
high
apparently
school.
one of the guys that wore the Barney suit was a pedophile, right?
I'm not surprised,
Yep.
but I didn't know that.
Not sure. A lot of people like that geared towards jobs like that, so they could be around kids.
Like,
That's-
well, yeah, that goes without saying. I mean, that would be like the jackpot.
Though, I saw this really like funny like little comic on the internet where it's like a Barney scene, except like all the kids are dressed up like the characters from Jurassic Park, and they're stealing cookies. And Barney's like, "Where'd you go, kids?" And the one dressed like Alan Grant's like, "Don't move. He can't see us if we don't move."
I do wonder. I mean, obviously Ring's not going to say anything, but I wonder if Barney's going to be a monster at Dinosaur Adventureland.
I watched a South Park episode one time where the local coach was a pedophile, and all the guys are saying, "Yeah, we got to get the kids over here and play this game of baseball or whatever the hell it is, or t-ball, whatever these little kids are doing." And the coach is like, "Well, what you say about kids? They're all pink inside," and everybody's like,
Oh,
I've
South
seen
Park
that
is
episode.
so wrong.
I've seen that.
Ring,
I've
if
seen
you,
that.
by the way,
I've
Ring,
seen that.
Ring, if you told me that this little D&D one shot was coming up.
Yeah, and not sure what time of day it will be. It might end up replacing Media Musings for the day, for that day. But who knows? Still have a time to, still have to set up a time. But on the 28th, Sunday the 28th, I'm going to run a special D&D one shot where Scummer, Sam Chaos, and X-Cult Baby are gonna go raid Dinosaur Adventureland to try and get Kenneth Hovind's tax returns.
So that's what you're doing the model for. Have you decided on what to do with the lake?
Yeah. If this does not get us onto Whack an Atheist, I don't know what will.
You know what? Keep saying his name. Keep saying his name. You'll end up on Whack an Atheist.
Yeah. It's a bit like Beetlejuice, isn't it?
Be,
Say it 3 times and he appears.
Well, hey, if you do, it gives you a free.
I think the funny thing is it'll be Sam that gets whacked, and it won't realise that Covid won't realise Sam's a polytheist.
Yeah.
What
if you do, it gives you a free ticket.
What's that?
If you get on Whack an Atheist, it gives you a free ticket to appear on Paulogia. He said anyone Ken Ham calls out by name can be on his show.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So he did Cyberman Dan for like the 3rd or 4th time, didn't he? The other day, like, he seemed like well pissed off at how many subscribers Cyberman Dan's got. He seems so pissed off. Hovind did.
But we should do a takeoff video of him doing his Whack an Atheists.
egg with glasses.
Well, I gotta hop out, guys. I'm getting ready for work a little earlier than I expected. I just got a text from my boss.
Thanks
No
for
worries,
chatting with
hon.
me.
Sorry.
No, not your fault. Alright.
Yep.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye, Con Horless.
Oh, I have the worst
Oh
song.
boy, I'm probably gonna have to take off soon.
The list of people who's been on the stream has gotten really long.
Go ahead, Will.
Oh no, I was I have the worst song stuck in my head. It's Yakko singing the 50 States.
Oh, you mean
was-
Wacko?
Wacko. I was gonna do that
Oh.
with the. I was gonna do that with the genders, but I couldn't get the beat down, so I didn't want to embarrass myself.
Yeah, Yakko did the nations of the world.
Exactly.
United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru.
Yeah, Planet
I'm aging
Gangs does that
myself.
perfectly. She pride yourself on it.
Yeah.
That really ages a person when they know that song. I can tell you how old you are. If I could ballpark it.
Yeah.
But I wanted to do that for the genders, but I was like, I wonder how canceled I would be.
You'd be fine.
So I chose not to, and now I have the song stuck in my head.
Well,
You guys must be getting tired over there in the US.
Well, I mean, I just recently woke up because I work crazy hours.
You do, don't you?
Yeah.
How long to your stream, Jeff?
What's the time about? A little over 3 hours.
3 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've still got to read. I've still got to read the books for today. So, mind you, that should only take about half an hour anyway, because most of them you can get through in half an hour, 40 minutes.
I'm wondering because we've got Americans here who have either fallen asleep or are getting incredibly tired if we shouldn't wind up soon.
No, I'm not. That's a bald-faced lie.
I wasn't even talking about you falling asleep, Randy. I was talking about Jen. She went ages ago.
Yeah.
I was actually halfway through drinking until I passed out when you started.
Yeah. So I think maybe now's as good a time as any to start winding up. So, what do people have to show? Well, let's start with Jeff because I already asked Jeff when his stream is. So
yeah.
So Jeff, what?
So it's 1 p.m. today. I think it's at 8 Eastern, I believe.
Yeah.
Be on Noodle's channel. And we're doing Asterix in the Falling Sky.
Awesome.
I'll probably be on Ring's stream directly after that, but I'll let Ring tell you about that.
Yep.
As long as I'm awake enough, I will join at least the start of Ring's one. As long as I'm awake enough.
Thursday, I'm gonna need some. I'm gonna need to hopefully get some panelists this week. We'll another one of these Twitter streams. It was the one I was supposed to do this Thursday, just gone, but I didn't have enough people to do it. We're gonna have a look at we're gonna have a look. We've done a lot of, so we say, Christians and so on, and on this show. We're going to do what Kent Hoving does and whack an atheist. We're going to be looking through David Silverman's Twitter.
Hey, if any atheist deserved a whacking, it's him.
Yes.
Okay, so Ring, what have you got happening?
After the Asterix stream, we have Media Musings, and this month we're doing rock operas, and we're kicking it off with Tommy.
Cool.
Awesome.
Alright. Anything else happening, Ring?
Well, I'll be on Jeff's Wacky World of Twitter.
Yep.
And then Saturdays, as always, is Secular D&D. And let's see, hold on. Just need to check something real quick. Yeah. Oh, I'm gone from 27 to 26 away from the Embarrassing Story stream.
Oh,
awesome.
Everyone go sub to Ring. Everyone's links are down below in the description, so if you're not subbed to any of these people, go sub. It's always good to sub.
Is that with or without the mask on? And the
well,
suit?
It depends on if you trust whether the person you're doing it with has got COVID or not.
It's all matter what you negotiated for.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm sure there's somebody somewhere where a shop has asked for the people to wear masks that somebody's walked in with a GIMP mask. I am so sure it's happened.
Oh, yeah, it has to.
Oh, yeah.
It is that. So, Randy, what have you got coming up?
Well, I figured in the morning I'll go down to the gas station and ask the young lady if she wants to see the time clock in my pants, and then drop my pants And then when she says that's not a clock, I'll say if you put two hands and a face on it, it will be. And then Thursday.
Okay, I was looking for some joke about the pendulum swinging, but yeah.
Oh dear.
Now Thursday at 3 Eastern Standard Time, I have Shedding Mysticism, which is kind of a debunking thing, but it's more like just a chat to see whether something is or is not true in our reality. Boy, am I tired! Holy moly! But that, and hopefully I'll be awake on Saturday. It's 5 Eastern Standard Time to do my live with the Harmonica Man. Hopefully I'll get some guests this week. Trying to get a hold of some folks to do some scientific debunking things and shedding mysticism, essentially. Exposing.
I promise I will guest at some point when I'm not trying to shift. Oh, yeah. And look, he's showing up in the background just as
right when we're
Jenny.
How about that?
We made this stream for you.
We made this stream for you. You fell asleep. We love you, Jen.
I fell down a TikTok hole.
It's okay. We love you. We made this stream thinking you'd like some friends to talk with and have some fun with, and now we're winding up because everyone's falling asleep.
I just thought I'd take a chance to see if you're still around. So.
Well, we are around, but most people are either nodding off or have things they need to get done. So, because I'm in the middle of cooking tea. So,
all right, I'm gonna go take some pills and touch myself inappropriately. I'll talk to you later.
Awesome.
No worries, Randy. So
it's only inappropriate if you don't consent to yourself.
Oh. so Pepper, what do you got coming up?
Yeah, just my usual stuff this week. My general hangouts on Wednesday at noon and Thursday at midnight Central Time, and on Friday at 7 o'clock with the Shills, and of course, Thursday night on your What the Fuck show.
Yep.
Awesome.
So
since Genesis is asleep, I'm gonna steal some Jenny's lines. Hi, I'm Godless Sewing. Go sub to the Godless Sewing channel. I'm Godless Sewing. I made a 3-minute video that has no words, but it's me rocking out and sewing, and I pretty much mirror everything on this channel. So go sub to Godless Sewing. Hi, I'm Godless Sewing.
Yeah. And you may as well show for next Thursday's show as well, Will, because it's your baby.
Hi.
So.
Hi, I'm Godless Sewing. Every Thursday we do the What the Fuck stream. 7 o'clock West Coast time, 10 o'clock East Coast time. Be there or be square.
And what are we doing this week, Will?
Finger guns.
What are we doing this week, Will?
I want to do gatekeeping in the atheist community because I feel like fighting, but I don't know. We're
going to do gatekeeping in general. I know we covered that topic a little bit during today's stream, but we'll go into more depth about gatekeeping and stuff like that.
And it's not just in the atheist community. It's just gatekeeping in general and why it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Which basically covers my shilling, because that's more or less what I've got happening this week, unless, of course, I throw in another stream like this at some point, which I can't really think about. So, but just keep an eye on us all on Twitter. Any of us, when we put out content, we tweet it, and you guys all know that, and you can jump in. And if we're having a general chat, jump in, or you can hop in the live typey chat and be a part of things, because this community is awesome. Jenny, what have you got coming up? And we are so sorry you missed most of this, because
I got nothing coming up.
You're doing movie night next weekend?
I got nothing coming up.
You're doing the movie night next weekend, though?
Maybe.
Yeah. And you're going to be on the What the Fuck show, aren't you?
Well, I do purple,
You do purple.
And, on Tuesday and then Thursday.
Yep.
Yeah, but I've got nothing else going. I mean,
we love you, Jen. Yeah.
And Jeff doesn't do anything anymore, and Jen doesn't do anything anymore,
and I would like to thank Robert X for all the shilling up until Robert X tried to start a fight right now, saying Star Trek sucks. Debate me. debate me.
Now that'll be coming in the next week.
I'll
Thank you, Robert, X, for shilling.
I will happily host that debate.
Alright, once again.
I can be swung either way on this.
Ooh, Jeff's a swinger.
Yeah. Well, you were saying about the mask.
Burning.
Yeah,
Or the
and
Git
that's,
mask.
I've seriously been considering fitting out my Triceratops mask with respirator.
You so should. Perhaps you should do that. And you should get Sloth Girl to record it.
Prescription lenses.
Oh, that's awesome.
But you should I can't show you that. I'll do the stream, unfortunately, Perps. I can't show it to the stream, so I haven't set that up to do that.
See it.
Oh,
but we can all see it. But yes, Perps that Triceratops mask is amazing. You should go and do that and have Sloth Girl record you, and then put it up.
It needs some purple trim.
Yeah.
You know what? You wouldn't even have Sloth Girl wouldn't have to record you because you would be on. Every person who you walk past would pull out their cell phone.
They would. They so would. And it'd just be amazing.
I actually made that mask more than 25 years ago, so it predates my YouTube channel by decades.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
I was teaching my stepdaughters how to do paper mache.
Yeah.
Oh, Robert X, you're awesome.
I am going to wind this up so I can go and rescue tea before it burns. I want to thank you all for joining us, and I'm so sorry, Jenny, you didn't get to be here earlier with us. I love you, and we will just have to do another stream at some point that you're awake for, because that would be amazing.
I fell down a TikTok hole. I've been on TikTok for the last couple hours, just looking at all the stuff. There's some really funny fucking stuff on TikTok. It's outrageously funny.
That's the one thing I'm not on.
Yeah, I know there's some funny stuff on there, but I'm not going to get sucked into another one of these time wasters.
Yeah.
So thank you all for joining us, and everybody who was here earlier, and I'm not going to go through the list, they're all down below in the description. Everyone was amazing. We've had a huge array of different guests appear on this show. It's been awesome, actually. And to everybody who's been in the chat, I think we got, for this time of day, I think we got up to about 20 people in the chat at one point, which is actually pretty impressive.
That's awesome.
Considering the time of day it is in the US, so time of night it is in the US. So yeah, this has been pretty cool, and thank you all for being a part of it.
I'm basically in the geographic center of North America, and it's going on 4 a.m. here.
Yeah, so go get some sleep, Perps. And same for everyone else. If you need it, go and get some sleep. Alright, thank you everyone, and we will catch you in the next one. Bye!
Bye-bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Yeah.